Good morning, family, friends, faculty, administrators, and fellow graduates. I would like to thank my fellow classmates for nominating me for this honor. There is no better feeling than being in a room full of professionals that are about to change the world. The education professor's office tells us how principals separate resumes. They make the TCNJ pile, then they make the everybody else pile. I don't blame them. I would like to show you this story. In my sophomore year, I was placed in an urban bilingual school for my first ever practicum. I was in a third grade classroom, observing lessons and assisting children with their work. There was one child in particular my cooperating teacher warned me about. He sat in the back of the classroom in seclusion, mostly with his head down. He was the trouble kid. One day, I went up to the desk to help him, and I noticed he was making a paper airplane. I asked him to put it away, but I was ignored. So I took it with the provision that if he did his work, I would save it and give it back to him. He did not like this. So he decided I wanted more paper airplanes. So he made one about every 5 minutes, turned around, and threw it at me. At first, I ignored it. After about 20 minutes, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I went up to my classroom teacher, but he did not feel this was a priority. So I was up to my own devices. I again tried to tell him that if he completed his work, I would still give him back his plane. Again, this did not stop him. About 10 minutes later, I found myself walking him down to the office. I will never forget seeing my professor in the hallway. She could see the frustration on my face. She asked the child to sit in a chair in the hallway and spoke with me privately. She posed a simple question. Why do you think he is doing this? Of course, I thought it was because I took away his plane. But then I thought, what is going on in this child's life? After she calmed me down, I had an idea. I left my professor and went back up to the child. Instead of writing him up, I told him I wanted to have lunch with him. During lunch, he told me that his mother had left his family and he recently heard gunshots on his street. His house had a rat problem and his father worked 2 jobs, not being around too often. Long story short, I discovered the child was not trying to anger me. He was crying out for help. Of course, my professor knew this. This story highlights why we are the strongest teaching candidates in the state. The environment the professors set and the collaboration between students is truly incredible. We are all in it together. We laugh together, struggle together, and now take our final steps together as we go our separate ways. But we will not be alone. The lessons we are learning from each other will stay with us throughout our careers. The following is the most important lesson I have learned in college. A young man is walking along the ocean and sees a beach on which thousands and thousands of starfish have washed ashore. Further along, he sees an old man, walking slowly, bending down, and picking one starfish up after another, and throwing it back into the ocean. Why are you throwing starfish into the ocean? The young man asks. Because the sun is up and the tide is going out, and if I don't throw them back, they will die. But old man, don't you realize there are miles and miles of beach and starfish all along it? You can't possibly save them all. What you will do will not even make a difference. The old man listened calmly, bent down to pick up another starfish, and threw it into the sea. I made a difference to that one. My fellow graduates, even when it seems like the beach is littered with starfish, remember that when you take the time to reach down to help one, you'll never know the impact you will have. I would like to thank the professors and administrators in the School of Education who have shaped my time here at the college. And most importantly, I would like to thank my mother, father, and my entire family for their unwavering support over these past 4 years. Thank you, class of 2015, and congratulations.